Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, this video is something that I think a lot of Black people really need to see, because I see a lot of Black people coming out to say, I mean, all through the period, Kamala Harris worked as a prosecutor or something, that she never have our interest at heart. She never did anything for us. She never spoke up for us. But this video will kind of let you understand that she has always been part of Black community, and the way she spoke about this in 2006 shows how interested, or how she feels that she is also part of Black community. How she talked about safety for Black people, Black community, and how she talked about also over policing Black community, and talked about how, I mean, like, Black men most times when they go to jail or prison, come out, that there is need for them to come out to expect something. Like, by so doing, I mean, like, crime rate and all that might subside, and the rest of it. And also, what is also causing most of Black men to go to prison or jail is because Black community is also over policed, right? So she spoke like she is part of community, and with all the policies she had then, I heard that it was also the Republicans that refused to approve most of her bills. You know what? Let's get into the
throwback to 2006. Kamala Harris speaking directly to her community, sharing her vision and dedication to making a difference. A reminder for those who keep spreading lies about her. She's been about the work from day one.
I want to thank you for what you've done, bringing us together and convening us. We've had a lot of time waiting to come out to talk with each other and bond, and it's an incredible group. The criminal justice system is not working for the African American community. I can tell you, as the chief law enforcement officer for a major city in this country, that it is not working. We see that in the statistics that you've outlined. 2 million people are in the prison system in this country. Over 40% are African American, in spite of the fact that we only constitute 13% of the general population. It's not working. It's not working when we recognize that African American men, the leading cause of their death is homicide. We are overly represented both as victims and as defendants and as witnesses. Our communities suffer because our babies hear the gunfire every night, so the 7-year-old has post-traumatic stress disorder and cannot go to school the next day and learn. The criminal justice system is not working for us. What I think we have failed to do as a community, however, is own this issue of law enforcement. We talk about these statistics in the context always of it is unfair, it's morally incorrect. Maybe we have learned that from the church. It is morally incorrect. But nobody cares about that. You can look at Katrina. Nobody cares about the fact that we've got a bunch of young Black and brown men in prison. That argument is not working. What I suggest we do as African Americans is own this issue in law enforcement and then define it in the way that works for us. Because it is a myth to say that African Americans don't want law enforcement. We do. We want our grandmothers to be able to walk to church and be safe. We want our babies to be able to walk to the park and be safe. What we don't want is racial profiling. What we don't want is excessive force. That's right. What we don't want is to have our civil liberties and civil rights be stripped. But we do want law enforcement. So let's define it in the way that works for us by saying, I want community policing. I want a police department that works in my neighborhood and in my community, that reflects the mores and the culture and respects my grandmother, again, when they walk in to talk to her. I want a system of accountability in the criminal justice system that says law enforcement needs to own crime prevention as much as it talks about long sentences. Because nationally, only 18% of serious crime results in an arrest. So if I, as law enforcement, with my responsibility to keep you safe, only talk about keeping you safe by sending people to prison for a long time, I'm necessarily going to fall short, because the vast majority of that crime's not even hitting my system. So if I'm going to keep my promise to you to keep you safe, I better talk with you about what I'm doing in terms of crime prevention, which means recognizing that people coming out of the state prisons, 60% will recidivate if we don't get them in reentry programs, if we don't get them in job training, job readiness, get them in programs that deal with their substance abuse, get them in meaningful housing and employment so they don't recidivate. We could talk about it in terms of, is it the right thing to do? Of course it is. But you know, I'm done talking about it like that. I'll just talk about it on this basis. If that person commits another crime, I have to spend $10,000 to try that felony. They sit in my county jail for $35,000 a year. I'm running a reentry program out of my office in the San Francisco DA's office that brings folks back into the community at an expense of $8,000 a year, guarantees them employment, guarantees them meaningful reunification with their family, and in that way, fulfills my responsibility to keep my community safe. So let's redefine this issue in the context of public safety and just simply talk about doing crime prevention, investing in people coming out of prisons is the smart thing to do for law enforcement. Forget that it's just the right. The fact that we only constitute 13% of the general population. It's not working. It's not working.
Hey, good morning. So I'm stitching the video that I initially posted, right? That was from 2006. And I guess the focus of this video, and you might have to excuse me because I got to butter my toast when it pops up and I'm still eating. So bear with me. I'm going to try to give you the best presentation I can give you while I'm eating and sipping coffee. Now, this video is from 2006. One of the things I've noticed in this video is that when she's talking, she's not saying I, as she is not a part of. She's using we and us. Give me a second. So if she's using we and us, it's letting me know that she's identifying with us. In the conversation, in the topic and forum is about black people. So she, since 2006, has been identifying as black. She, being in her position at the time, dealt with a lot of black people. And you can just look at the video and see what she's talking about. But this was in 2006. And what it tells me, unfortunately, this is sad, is that there are a lot of uneducated black people. Most importantly, how influential social media has become. Because in 2006, I joined the Army. And one application I do remember the most, or matter of fact, even the verbiage, because it wasn't called apps back in the days, it was websites. Go to this website called MySpace. And I can tell you, this was before Gmail, I do believe, because we were using Yahoo back in the days. But we weren't proficient and or knowledgeable about social media consumption. We damn sure wasn't tapped in like we're tapped in now. We were trying to code and make our MySpace page look fucking phenomenal. But this type of information was not readily available on social media. So a lot of people don't know about it. It isn't until 2024 how powerful social media is, and if we look back on how influential it is by way of information and finding things out, especially knowledge-based content where we don't need to go to the library, we don't need encyclopedias or dictionaries at the sources. We can just type in to the app of Google and find information. But it's safe to say, looking at that video, she has been identifying as black since she's been talking. Now, this was in 06, right? She's 61. And even in 06, she was talking about the betterment of the black community, especially law enforcement, and trying to come up with ways to work in favor of those who are getting out of prison, because she, as the leading person prosecuting crime, realizes that it is not in the best interest of black folks. And you have goofballs like Dr. Umar, Jermaine Shoemake, talking to Nick Cannon about what has she done. As educated as Jermaine claims to be, he seems to forget that there's steps to getting shit passed. Now, I believe she became a senator in 2017, right? To 2021. So she's been seeing the same thing since before she was a senator. And when she became a senator, she was trying to propose things for black people. But who was in charge of Senate? Who was shooting down those proposals? Huh? Republicans. This woman has been consistent with her fucking story since she was prosecuting crime. And you have black people who had no knowledge of this, who were uneducated, but yet influenced by social media, hearing other people by way of denouncing the contributions of other political people to say, oh, they ain't doing shit for us because, Barack Obama, right? But once again, we are uneducated when it comes to the flow of government. The president can't say, I'm going to sign this bill for black people, and that's what it is, because we are a democracy. It comes down to voting. And unfortunately, there's people who are opposite of what Barack and Kamala were to no. But their intentions were pure. They wanted to. It's much like universal gun law. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. They're not interested in it. Right? They rather take books out of schools than work on gun laws. But when it comes to our people and our people alone, it's funny how uneducated we are, yet motivated and inspired and conditioned by way of social media to denounce this black woman who has, since '06, been saying we and us. The question is, why do most black men and black women have so much internal hatred for people of color that sharing a vagina, epidermis, in education and knowledge denounce her like, oh, she ain't for us, woo, woo, woo. And why do we value a person's wealth or worth based on what they do for us? What does it say about us? We're fucked up. A lot of you people, us, we, if you were truly tapped in, truly gave a fuck about successful, educated black people who may have taken a position to curb crime, but yet move on to Senate and keep lobbying proposals for black men and black women, when she ran and before and run now, it would have been a no-brainer, landslide, because you could say, you know what? I remember Kamala. I remember her in '06 at conventions, holding forums, talking about the black community and how she can help, that she's been doing this from day one. But we've been so conditioned by social media and influencers and those who are on behalf of the black community yet has not done a fucking thing for us, Jermaine Shoemake and other individuals who talk more about what motherfuckers are doing to us than coming up with resolution and solving problems that, oh yeah, because if you with them, you ain't for us. Like, you can't side bet on a dice game with a motherfucker who's equally as broke as you. You should be ashamed of yourself. A lot of white people will get mad when I say this, but for the most part, if there's a person talking about utilizing the military and concentration camps and this, that, and the third, if anybody who's opposite of him by way of epidermis is saying, hey, vote for me, hey, I'll vote for you. Especially if we can go back to 2006 and see that this woman was saying we and us way before you bitches were on your platform talking about she's not black and she's not for us. You guys are fucking stupid, dumb, uneducated, and quite frankly, overall misrepresentation of black folks. You should turn in your fucking black card.
Let me preface by saying I'm a white woman and I have a black partner. If you are a white woman and you sleep with, date, marry, potentially procreate with black men, and you're a Trump supporter, I'm not talking a Republican, you are a Trump supporter. You think that this is a stand-up guy that should be in charge of running our country. Literally, what the fuck? But Trump's not a racist, right? He just literally got sued for racial discrimination, but he's not racist. He just used to ask the black workers at one of his casinos to go hide in the back when rich white men would come in to spend money. But he's not a racist. He just wants to ban curriculum and books teaching kids about slavery. But that's not racist. Can't be convinced. He just asked the Mexican judge working one of his trials to step down just because he was Mexican. But he's not racist. He just said Kamala decided to be black one day. But he's not a racist. He just said all people from Haiti have AIDS and that the people from Nigeria don't want to go back to their huts. Like, how many more things do you need to hear for it to register? And if that's not enough, maybe the issue is that it doesn't pertain to you close enough, you know, despite sleeping with, dating, marrying, and potentially having children with black men. You're a woman. He has 30 accounts of sexual assault against women. He's a convicted rapist. He violently raped his ex-wife. If you are unfamiliar, Project 2025 is a conservative agenda of what they want to do once they get into office. Trump says he knows nothing about it. There's 31 authors that all work for Donald Trump. If you know anything about politics, it's not just one dude that gets to pick, oh, I want to do all of these things. No, you have an entire staff of people that dictate where you go. And because he's so fucking power hungry, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, sure, you want to get rid of abortion? I'm cool with that. Years ago, he was a Democrat, and he said that he believes women should have rights. Now he changes his mind because he's in a position of power, but I digress. Well, I don't know. Do we think these things will actually happen? They literally did already happen. Roe v. Wade was overturned. Never thought that would happen, and then it did. And then I lived in a state where I could have potentially been impacted by it. Now I understand how it could be hard to come to terms with this, because if you can listen to all of the things that I rattled off, and you can literally hear these things come out of his mouth and still dismiss them, and if you can put the word allegedly before any of these sexual assault cases or the rape cases, what does that say about you? What does that say about your morals? What more do you need in order to be convinced? It's giving, you're fetishizing black men, but you don't care about the black experience. And I pray to God that you do not have black children. Best case scenario, you just don't know enough. Worst case scenario, you know all of these things and you just don't care.
So this is all I got from this video. And, you know, looking at the video, I mean, it's been years, probably 13, 14 years, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing I noticed about her was that she was very consistent talking about, talking about Black community. And she talks like she is also part of Black community. And sincerely speaking, I could see that she really got great plans. Like back then, that was 2006, right? And it's really amazing how in 2024, I mean, a lot of people are questioning what she has done for Black community all through the period she's been in power, or like, you know, or she was a prosecutor or something, like, you know. It's been from one story to another. I am sure you all know all this, and a lot of people, like, to this very moment, are questioning her integrity and what we should be able to do. And there is even a video that I saw, like, a man was telling another man that if you ever, okay, like, how dare you vote for Kamala Harris? Are you gay? I mean, like, I was like, whoa, that is really the height of it. Just to tell you the extent people are taking it. Oh, yeah, that is what it is. The man that stitched the video talked about Dr. Umar. Sincerely speaking, there are some things I agree with Dr. Umar. There are some things I also do not agree with him, because, like, really, that man is kind of weird. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, everybody must not align with you. Everybody must not, like, you know, agree with you, and everybody must not also have the same political view as you. But I want a lot of people to, like, you know, a lot of people do not know about this video and all that. But yeah, I want a lot of people. I want people to absolutely understand that, you know, that really, I didn't know how to even put this, like, you know, so it doesn't come off like I am probably advertising and the rest of it. Sincerely speaking, I am not advertising. It's just me doing my, like, how I see videos and then bring them up here to talk about them. Nothing more than that, you know. But I feel like she has, or she genuinely, like, you know, she cares for Black community, and she also feels like she is also part. I don't want to say it because a lot of people will start questioning. I don't want to see that kind of she is not a Black woman and all that. But I can see and feel that she feels that she is part of Black community. I mean, you could also see that from the video. And also her intentions were very pure and clean and sincere, also wanting the very best for people, especially Black men. You all already know that a Black community is over policed when it comes, like, it's sincere, like, absolutely over policed. And you all also know that how, like, Black men also are being incarcerated, and when they go to, like, probably prison or jail, come back and they may not have anything doing and all that. So she was also suggesting to reform, probably probably, like, give them a raise of money, or just, like, do something for the white. I mean, like, it's really going to be a good thing as they are leaving the prison and all that, set them up. And now we all also can see her policy, that she also got good policy for Black men. I mean, she came up with healthcare skills, and healthcare skills, and I think she also talked about legalizing marijuana, and what else did she also, forgivable loan from $20,000 to $1 million, right? Which is absolutely a great thing. The amazing part is that some people saw all that. I mean, saw it. And they also were not impressed, or they are not impressed about it, because they feel like, she doesn't have any plan for us, and she is never ever coming up with any plans. Eventually, she came up with something great for Black people, and a lot of people are still complaining. I also saw in the comment section people saying that she did not mention that she is going to do a specific kind of thing for Black community. And she also said that whatever she's doing for Black community, she will also do it for other community. I want us to know that maybe black men or Black people's policy may not be the same as other people, but that might be similar. But she has something great, I mean, great offer for Black men, which I feel it's really great, because as people are aging, you all know that health is wealth. There is need for some certain things to be happening in your life. Learning skills and all that is also something everybody should be able to do. I mean, like, her policy is absolutely great. And some men also feel like it's also a great opportunity for them to be mean, because some people feel like, why do we have to vote for her? And for that reason, if any man, see, I don't know how you think about it. I appreciate Black men, especially the ones that are doing great and supporting Black, like, supporting Black community as people. I appreciate them, and I am also in for them, like, But the ones that I do not appreciate are the ones that will always look for a way to make other people or other Black men look like they are dumb. When I know truly what that Black men are not dumb. But the truth is that everybody in every community, there must be Judas. So this is something we must learn to understand. Some people are asking if she wants us to vote for her, she has to, like, forgive, what is it called? Child support and all that, instead of looking for a child support reform. I mean, how dumb could you be to come up to ask for a child support forgiveness? So the child, or you have, or you had, or something, you do not even have plan of taking care of that child. That shows how irresponsible you are, whoever or the people that concur to that thing the man said. Sincerely speaking, you all are not okay for coming up with that. So you all can look at this video and decide by yourself what you want. And this is all I got for you. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.